Okay, moving to Cain and Abel. Why was Abel's offering accepted and Cain's rejected? The text is famously silent on the reason.
It is frustratingly ambiguous, isn't it? Later traditions, Jewish tradition especially, filled in the gaps. Maybe Abel offered better quality stuff or had a better attitude.
But Genesis itself doesn't say.
Nope, and maybe that's the point. By not giving a reason, the story pushes our focus onto Cain's reaction.
His anger, his jealousy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rather than the why of the rejection, it's about how Cain handles it. It sets up the tragedy that follows.
Right, and then there's the mark of Cain. Sounds negative, like a brand of shame. But our sources suggest maybe not.
Yeah, that's another common misunderstanding. Later on, it gets associated with being an outcast, with stigma.
Mm-hmm.
But in the original context, it actually seems to be a sign of God's protection. God puts it on Cain so that others won't kill him in revenge.
Wow, okay. So protection, not punishment.
It seems so.
Yeah.
Which is a powerful statement about divine mercy, even right after the first murder. It counters that purely negative reading.
Mercy even then. Okay, let's maybe walk through some key moments verse by verse to anchor this. Genesis 3, verses 1 to 5. The serpent arrives.
Yep. And notice how clever it is. It doesn't directly deny God's command at first. It questions it, twists it slightly.
Did God really say?
Exactly. It plants that seed of doubt. And then it suggests God is holding something back, that this fruit will make them like God, knowing good and evil.
Playing on desire.
Desire, maybe a bit of distrust. It's very subtle psychological manipulation, really.
Then 3, verses 6 and 7, they eat. And boom, eyes open, they see they're naked. That's got to be more than just noticing they need clothes, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's that moment of moral awakening we talked about.
Yeah.
Nakedness symbolizes vulnerability, maybe shame, a loss of that prior innocence. They now understand themselves differently, maybe as separate, as potentially judgeable.
A big shift. Then verses 8 to 13, God shows up, asks questions, and the blame game begins instantly.
Yes. And this shows how sin immediately damages relationships. Not just between humans and God, that's obvious, but between the humans themselves.
Adam blames Eve.
And Eve blames the serpent. Nobody steps up and says, yeah, I did it. Responsibility gets deflected. That breakdown is immediate.
Okay, then verses 14 and 15, God addresses the serpent. Verse 15 is often called the proto-evangelium. Why is that significant?
Right, the first gospel. Within Christian interpretation, that verse talking about enmity between the serpent's offspring and the woman's offspring and the crushing of the serpent's head gets read as a very early hint of Christ's eventual victory over sin and evil.
Ah, okay. A foreshadowing.
That's the traditional Christian reading. In its original context, though, it might have been understood more generally, just about the ongoing struggle between humanity and forces that oppose God, or even just the real-world conflict between humans and snakes.
Got it. Then 16 to 19, the consequences for the woman and the man.